This is your Barbados Today Morning News Update for Tuesday, July 14. Class 4 primary school pupils are preparing to head out this morning to sit the 11 plus examination, with assurances from Minister of Education Cynthia Bradshaw that all systems are ready for their arrival. In an update ahead of the test, Bradshaw said she has been assured by the 21 government secondary schools that will be used as examination centres that the students will be well taken care of. She urged students to remain calm and do their best.
We have been in communication with all of the schools, the invigilators, CXC, and we are satisfied that the students will be accommodated in relatively good conditions tomorrow. I think they have been preparing over the last couple of weeks for today. They understand all of the aspects of what they have to do, and so do the parents. We're continuing to ask the parents as well, just to be mindful that we're still operating in a COVID-19 environment. Try not to crowd the schools. We know we are anxious as well for the children going to do the exam, but we also want you to be mindful that it is not business as usual. And my advice to the students would be to just give up their best. A school does not define you. It is what you do in the institution when you get there in terms of your education. But really just give up your best.
Minister Bradshaw was speaking on Monday as yet another private sector company stepped forward to make a substantial donation to the country's children. This time around, it was the Initech group of companies led by Chairman Anthony De Silva.
This donation of 40 Chromebook laptop computers, 1,000 protective face shields, a thermographic camera and scanner for mass screening, and 60-number medical-grade infrared non-contact thermometers, all valued at about 75,000 Barbados dollars. Minister, our donation represents the Initech Group's commitment to supporting the educational efforts in Barbados, as well as the health and safety of our nation's children.
Meanwhile, the Caribbean Examination Council examinations got underway on Monday. CXC Registrar Dr. Wayne Wesley assured candidates across the region that all measures have been put in place to ensure they can comfortably sit their exams.
All examination centres and invigilators will follow national health protocols as it relates to social distancing, the wearing of masks, and the sanitization of hands and surfaces. We are encouraging all candidates to arrive early at the examination centres and to follow the guidelines and instructions provided by invigilators and centre staff.
In other news this Tuesday, COVID-19 czar Richard Carter cautions Barbadians that now is not the time to drop their guard against the COVID-19 pandemic. He advises it's best to stick to the established protocols, including the wearing of masks, frequent hand washing, sanitizing, and social distancing. He notes that with the resumption of commercial flights, there's even more reason for Barbadians to protect themselves.
Persons have a responsibility for their own protection. Persons have to assume that anybody that they do not know that they come into contact with is potentially COVID-19 positive, and to conduct themselves accordingly. The Ministry of Health has put a number of protocols in place. They have not been relaxed. The protocols are still there, but persons have basically relaxed them in terms of their observance, and persons are not following the protocols. So you're seeing people going to various places of entertainment without wearing masks, without social distancing. You're seeing people on minibuses without wearing masks, without physical distancing. You're seeing people engaging in social or recreational activity without following the protocols. And of course that is a concern, because the observance and the compliance with protocols is what has allowed us to be able to get to the point where we did not have any local spread of COVID-19, and we have not had any local spread up until now for the better part of 2 months. But all of that gets put at risk if persons continue the behavior that I've been seeing of relaxing and not observing the protocols.
Financial Controller at the Transport Board, Felicia Sue, again pointed to several financial irregularities which occurred at the bus company. Among them was an invoice for payment from the then chairman to reimburse over $14,000 of his personal monies used to purchase tools and equipment for the Quality Assurance Department. She made the revelations as she appeared again before Parliament's Public Accounts Committee on Monday, where she was questioned by several members.
A procurement procedure would generally be followed by all persons. So this was not the normal procurement procedure.
This was not the normal thing. Okay, but did it happen? Let me ask it simply. Did it happen more than once?
In this particular case?
Where the chair made a purchase and then came for a refund, or requested a refund, I should say.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. In your tenure, how many chairs have you worked with?
4.
Was this something that happened with the question, what I'm trying to get to without making you feel that I'm trying to put you in a corner, I want to know if this is systemic. So the question really is it something that happened across different chairs? Did it happen only to the chair you identified at this juncture, 2017, February?
It only happened on this occasion.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, in Jamaica, changes are coming to ensure that tourists comply with measures in place to prevent the spread of COVID-19. That's the word from Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett amid recent concerns raised by the Health Minister that tourists have not been following the rules. Vashan Brown of Television Jamaica has the story.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton recently pointed out that some tourists have been picked up and placed in state quarantine for breaching the rules.
We have had cases of persons leaving, particularly those staying in villas, and going out into other areas. And this, we believe, is risky. And clearly, it's a breach of the order that were given as it relates to those types of non-nationals who come into the country.
Now the Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett says there will be greater enforcement of the protocols for visitors. In an interview with TVJ News, Mr. Bartlett said he's heard the concerns raised by the Health Minister.
And we are now putting together more than 77 wardens for the resort area, and particularly for the corridor. And we're also working with some private sector interests to increase the number of wardens that we're going to have to try to ensure that the surveillance that is required to keep visitors operating as stipulated, is strengthened.
On the international front, U.S. President Donald Trump took a swipe at health experts in his government leading the country's response to the coronavirus. And one of them, Dr. Anthony Fauci, answered with an appeal to citizens to stick to guidelines to curb the surge in cases. More in this report from Reuters Television.
The top infectious disease expert in the United States said in an interview with Stanford Medicine on Monday that the reason cases of the coronavirus were surging in some states was because the country did not shut down completely.
The Europeans have done it. People in Asia have done it. We did not shut down entirely, and that's the reason why when we went up, we started to come down, and then we plateaued at a level that was really quite high, about 20,000 infections a day. Then as we started to reopen, we're seeing the surges that we're seeing today as we speak.
Dr. Anthony Fauci's comments came as a rift between him and President Donald Trump continues to widen over his administration's response to the pandemic and health officials' guidance for how to reopen. Earlier on Monday, Trump retweeted to his 83 million followers the accusations of a former game show host that, quote, everyone is lying about COVID-19, including the CDC. Soon after, Trump retweeted another post that was critical of Fauci specifically. But later at the White House, Trump said he appreciated Fauci's advice.
Well, I have a very good relationship with Dr. Fauci. I've had for a long time, right from the beginning. I find him to be a very nice person. I don't always agree with him. No, I get along with him very well. I like him personally.
Last week, Trump told Fox News that Fauci had made a lot of mistakes concerning the coronavirus. A day later, Fauci told the Financial Times that he has not briefed Trump in 2 months. Then, over the weekend, it was reported that the White House distributed a list of statements Fauci made early in the pandemic that turned out to be wrong as understanding of the disease developed.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.